Hello everyone, this is Battletoads, and I'd like to talk to you about a DLC that's near and dear to my heart, and that's the Imperial City. It's the only PvP-centric DLC that we've ever gotten, and I feel like after it's been made, it hasn't really gotten much as far as polish goes. It seems rather incomplete. So there's a few changes that I think the devs should make that would really make this experience just better for everybody. Um, this DLC can be fun if you love PvP, but as of right now it can be extremely frustrating because some of the mechanics in this DLC are really counterintuitive to smooth PvP and a very good high risk, high reward playstyle. Because as you know, the more stones you carry in PvP, the more you lose when you die. And I feel like the mechanics are stacked against you in such a way that it really discourages you from carrying any stones at all, especially when there's actively PvP going on the map. A lot of PvPers use this as an income. You can buy crafting materials like apothecary satchels, and other various crafting materials that you could use that you can't really attain in PvP. You don't really get a lot of money doing PvP. So this DLC is very valuable to us, and I'd like to see it change for the better. One, to make it more active and competitive, and two, to make it just a better experience and less frustrating. So the first change I think that is very important. Everyone always talks about the upper city, but I want to go into the lower city, the sewers. Hardly anyone comes into the sewers anymore other than to grind XP for their alt characters. It's very rare that you see people running around, and it's a huge zone. And there's so much potential for dynamic PvP fights down here that just don't get used because there's little to no reason to even come down here. The first change I would like to see is a change to the banner bosses. Now, down in the sewers, there's a boss who roams each zone, and he's extremely powerful. I would say he's tougher than the upper district bosses that give you, 12,000 Talvar for soloing them. These bosses are pretty dynamic fights. It's not very easy to do. So what I would like to see changed is that these things give you a little more Talvar. It's a big time investment killing one of these things. They have a lot of mechanics to them, and I would definitely love to see them actually reward you for taking the time to kill one. I would say a fair Talvar gain from these things is about 10,000. They're just about as difficult as district bosses for the most part. But they have a little bit more mechanics to them. You gotta run around and really try to kill one of these things. So that's one part of the sewers that I would like to see improved. Let me kill this off, and I'll go into some more. Boy, I made that look easy. Usually they're not that easy, I promise you. Another thing that I would like to see changed is the Moloch Ball event. It's a huge event. You end up having to fight 3 lesser Daedric portals. And a banner boss comes out of each one of them. And after you kill the banner bosses, Moloch Ball spawns down there. I don't think it's actually Moloch Ball. It's more like a some sort of ghost of Moloch Ball. Anyway, that fight should definitely give you around 20k Talvar. It takes a lot of time if you don't have a large group to fight him down. And, the larger the group, the more the Talvar spreads out between the group members. So I think 20k would be fair. So you say you do it with you know, 5 people, you each get 5k Talvar for taking the time to go down there and fighting Molag Bal. You can also get a skin and a Daedric pet. I think it's a scamp. So I really think that fight should be way more rewarding, and I think it would draw a lot of players down there to fight and just generally have fun killing each other. So that's about it for the sewers. I think with those changes it would make the sewers a lot more active because it would be a great place to make Telvar, along with get some good PvP fights into these small cramped tunnels. And yeah, I think it would create a really fun PvP environment, especially for small groups. So we'll get into the upper district now. Oh, load screens. I gotta love load screens. It's just Imperial City's just chocked full of load screens, and I think that's what I want to talk about first. So Imperial City is split up into districts, right? And each district has its own flag. Capturing these flags gives you a bonus to Talvar gain while you're in that district, but there's an issue. Okay, whenever you go through these doors in between districts, it puts you into a loading screen, which I don't understand why, because these zones aren't very big. All it does is create an easy way for Nightblades to gank you as soon as your loading screen comes up. It causes some deaths for no reason. I really think these doors should be open to create a choke point. Not open all the way, just like a crack, so that, you know, maybe 2 people could fit through at a time. And it would cut down on the loading screens, because that really starts to wear on people when they're moving around the Imperial City. How that would affect the flags, I don't know. But if they could do it in Cyrodiil, I think they could do it here. It's not a big zone at all. I can walk across or around this within less than 2 minutes. So I'd really like to see these middle doors at least opened up so that we could just walk through them. Another issue I find is the flags. There's one flag, and only one person can take the flag at a time. So the flipping process of the flag is pretty slow. It takes a lot of time. And the issue comes in is when you have an enemy here trying to keep you from capturing the district. They'll repeatedly see that's EP's spawn point right there. They jump right down and come fight you over and over and over again. But once the district's flagged, it's not so much of an issue. See, once it reaches the halfway point, this district will become flagged. But the issue is that they can repeatedly respawn over and over again. It's rather overwhelming and honestly irritating if you kill them and they just keep coming back. It will contest the flag, it makes everything take a whole lot longer, and I don't really see a reason for it. What I would like to see happens is that these spawn points in these districts have a small cooldown. Maybe 30 seconds would be enough. Just something to give me a chance to actually take the flag, even though I won the fight, instead of having them coming down repeatedly and just overwhelming me with pure numbers, you know? It's very grating. Also, I don't want just one flag in the district. I think that's kind of a flaw in this zone. It's built specifically for small man PvP. It's not a lot of space for large groups. So I'd actually like to see 3 flags in the district, and if you capture one, it flags the entire district. This way, a smaller group could take, you know, multiple points and spread out larger groups for them to be easier to handle, instead of just getting overwhelmingly outnumbered and rewarding that kind of, I know a lot of people don't like this word, but it's Zergy playstyle, where it's just mindlessly a large group running around killing things. So Yeah, I would really like to see 3 flags in each district. A small respawn timer on each district so that people have a chance to actually flip flags instead of getting overwhelmed by people respawning over and over again despite killing them. And I think that would make the Imperial City experience just a lot better overall. With the changes to the sewers, the changes to the flags and the spawning system in Imperial City, and the removal of these load screen doors that are in every freaking second of your Imperial City experience, I think people would enjoy this DLC a lot more and come here a lot more to have fun. It's a nice break from Cyrodiil, because Cyrodiil is just such a large fight all the time. It gets a bit overwhelming. Sometimes I just like to, you know, make some Telvar, have some decent fights in Imperial City, and make some potions, you know, with my hard-earned Telvar. Yeah, a lot of PvPers avoid this zone because it's a lot of PvE sometimes. But with only one campaign, I think this could be quite the lively DLC for PvP, an alternative to either, you know, the Alliance War or Battlegrounds, and a good medium between the both. So those are my suggested changes, and tell me what you think. Hopefully Dev will see this and maybe put the word up and get things changed for the better. Thank you for your time. See you on the battlefield. This is Battletoads. Oh boy. Hold on, maybe I should finish this fight. There we have it. Alright. Have a good night, everybody.